An image on a mapping website causes an internet sensation. At first glance, all that's visible is a giant cross-shaped structure embedded in the ground.
Looking at the size of the thing, it's 400 meters across.
But what catches people's attention is the symbol concealed within the cross. A symbol that is recognized and feared all over the world.
It's a swastika.
This particular swastika isn't lying just anywhere. It's lying just outside Roswell.
Roswell, I mean the big UFO site. On the ground you wouldn't see it at all. It's meant to be seen from space. You have to ask yourself, who's looking at it? Who's the audience?
Maybe they are welcoming signs. Maybe it is a way of saying, we are here, this is what we believe in, this is what we think about, maybe. Who knows? It might be a message to other people viewed best from hundreds of miles in the air. Maybe they are welcoming signs. Maybe it is a way of saying, we are here, this is what we believe in, this is what we think about, maybe. Who knows? It might be a message to other people viewed best from hundreds of miles in the air.
The proximity of the symbol to such a notorious site sparks intense speculation.
The swastika only means one thing, the Nazis. You have a gut reaction to it.
The swastika does not only mean one thing. Don't let them fool you.
The proximity of the symbol to such a notorious site sparks intense speculation.
The swastika only means one thing, the Nazis. You have a gut reaction to it, and it's usually revulsion. So what is one of the most notorious, maybe hated signs of prejudice in the world doing in the middle of the sands of New Mexico? Is someone putting out a political message?
Some have suggested the strange symbol could be the mark of an ancient culture communing with its sky gods.
The swastika symbol is actually common to some Native American tribes, and large geoglyphs carved into the earth are also common to some tribes. So it's not that big of a stretch to think that could be the source.
First swastika is about 10,000 years ago. It's found on Paleolithic art. It also has an association with ancient religions in the East, particularly Hinduism and Buddhism.
In the American Southwest, the swastika is sacred to a particular people.
One of the groups that use swastika and swastika type symbology are a Native American group that live in this area, the Navajo.
The Navajo are known for including this symbol in large ornate designs known as sand paintings.
Altering the earth.
So, one question. Is the Navajo related to the Hindu descendants of the Hindu? Or did they just come and adopt the culture?
Is a prehistoric thing, a sort of innate human thing to do. So it's not impossible that this is one such example.
Comparing the scale and design of the symbol with other examples of ancient art reveals a problem with this theory.
This isn't just a few meters across, this is hundreds of meters in size. And while ancient people did have great capabilities, to do something quite on that scale would be very unlikely.
You hear that? They say no way because they can't do stuff on that scale, even though they build pyramids.
If you look closely at the image, you'll see that the image of the swastika itself is not as distinct and clear as a Native American tribe would have wanted it to be.
Local resident Harold Brown has first-hand knowledge of the area. He is certain there are more of the mysterious symbols in the Roswell desert.
When I was a child here, they were everywhere. That was 70 years ago, and you don't notice them now. But there was a lot of them. I don't know. I'll bet you there was near 50 in a 150-mile radius.
It leads some to suspect that there is more to this mystery than...
So was New Mexico where the Hindus in that region, the Four Corners region? Because we understand that they have temples in the Grand Canyon. They have artifacts all throughout the Grand Canyon. So were they in New Mexico as well? That's not too far away.
Looking at the entire picture, not only is there this swastika in the middle, but there's other areas and markings.
There are concentric circles that surround the swastika. There are rectangles with circles within them.
To image analyst Mark D'Antonio, the shapes surrounding the pattern reveal its true purpose.
This is actually part of a much more complex pattern seen in the land here. When we look at this object up at the top, it's a battleship.
Ha!
Seen in outline on the desert floor.
It's a battleship.
And then when we look at the other objects over here, this object could be an old petroleum refinery.
If you actually take a broader view of the site and go
goodness.
outside the actual swastika itself, you
Do you really believe that that was a ship and an oil refinery? Look at the crap they feed you, and you love it. You love being spoons fed, because you can't feed yourself. You're little kids. Grow up.
In popular culture, Roswell is UFO central. But during the Cold War, the nearby airfield was a base for bombers carrying atomic weapons.
Roswell was a major U.S. Army Air Force.
Look how they're trying to say, oh, there was military here, so, hey, ain't this possible? Look where this went from science to just buffoonery.
Which is back into the Second World War.
The town's military history is the key to uncovering the nature
not
of these
the key.
mysterious desert symbols.
They don't want to fucking spend
What
their
we
time
have here is
putting
a totally
swastikas.
abandoned and almost forgotten bomb site.
what you're looking at then are targets. They're all designed to allow people to practice bombing on different sizes of targets,
Oh,
depending on what kind of ordnance they're
shit.
dropping.
We had to have
You
bomb
fucking
sites
listening
because
to
we
this
couldn't
shit.
practice bomb our cities or anything like that.
The discovery that the strange
So they saying that this is just bombing places. Yeah, they didn't destroy the swastika, and the old man never freaking hear of anybody bombing.
We still don't know why there's a swastika in the middle of it.
I think the swastikas were basically there to incense the bomb crews and look at, we're going to go be over there bombing these people. Here's what we're bombing.
Oh yeah, this is just to tell the bombers that oh, there's people over here bombing. We're gonna bomb these areas. This is complete nonsense. Yet this is academia. This is what they show us. This is why we're stupid.
I tell you, if I'm a pilot in World War II wanting to practice, that's the way I'd want to do it.
still to come. An impossible dagger. No one in the world is capable of producing that kind of metal. Creates an enduring mystery.
How did King Tut obtain iron when iron basically didn't exist?
But satellites might now provide a solution.
Is it possible that this is the source of that dagger? Tuesday, the mound contains.
Welcome everybody, this is Francisco Perez. I'm continuing from an earlier lesson that I haven't posted it yet, so I'm gonna connect it to this. So as you watch this, it's gonna be a continuation. So it's gonna be one video. So we watched on the TV about the ancient swastika signs and all this Hindus, different Hindu artifacts and stuff, and on the TV, and we seen how they manipulated everything to play everything down, to excuse everything. That's why when you see the Freemasons, the reason why you can find a lot of these places that's in the Bible, like Numbers and Deuteronomy, you can find a lot of the places that are in America, that are in the Bible, because they kept the names to tell their kids, their descendants would know where the places are. So a lot of these name places is still the same, and you can find these out. And then when you look up them in the encyclopedia, it says, oh no, these were not named. They were named when the Europeans came, and instead of name them New Amsterdam and Jamestown and all this stuff, they named it Hebrew names. See how they always play things down. So every time you go, oh, did you see the artifacts, or did you see Moab, Utah? They're like, oh, Europeans named that. Europeans put that there. And then nobody wants to pay attention. So you gotta understand how they flip and twist things. So watch that. I mean, I'm sure you're done at this point. And now see what else we got, what other information we got. So this cannot be all about watching YouTube videos. You have to, the reason why we do this is not so that we can sit there and read everything to you. If you can't read, if you're blind and stuff, that's fine. If you're going to work, we can read to you. That's fine, but what this should be is for you to get resources so you understand, and you can record this information. So when you find books, try and get the PDFs and you grab it, put it on your information on your computer. When you see books that's you need, get the books. That way you have the information, and then you read. If you cannot buy anything, just read off the internet. Because when you read, you're gonna find more understanding than when somebody's just talking to you. Just like when you live your life and you trying to tell a kid like about something, and they're like, oh yeah, but you tell one of your homeboys or some of your friends or your family, and they understand because they have the experience. You have to experience these things for yourself. There's no better experience than reading for yourself. But we're here for you. So we're gonna get in some books. The reason why I said that is because we gotta get in the PDFs and the books as well. I got a whole counter full of books. I got books all over the place. So don't think I'm all just on YouTube. That's how it was though. But you have to grow. You have to grow from that. Alright, so we're gonna I'm not gonna read much, but I'm gonna show you, add to it. Because they're trying to say that that there was nothing Hindu in America. There's nothing about India in America. So we're gonna get into this book. It's called Hindu America. Okay. Jump on it. Alright. You get it, make it bigger. Can. Yeah. Alright. I don't know why it's so ugly, but here we go. Excuse me. Color scheme in temples. That the ancient Americans used the same color scheme as the one used in Hindu temples is proved by Mr. Nuttall, she writes. An interesting note in connection with assignment of color to the cardinal points in Asia is given by Swastikas, Buddhism in Tibet, who relates that the walls of the temples look towards the 4 quarters of heaven, and each side is painted with its particular color. North is green, of course. East is white. South is yellow. And west is red. But today, this rule is not strictly adhered to. Most indeed are painted red. So you know that as a fact, because when you watch all these historical videos of your lands, like my father is from Central America, so I watching all those pyramids and how these were painted red, and the red is kind of faded out. So you know all about red, but they don't tell you about the white, the green, and the yellow. But you always understand that red, yellow, green is sacred to you, and you understood that white was a sacred color. The priests of all your different individual tribes wore white as the highest level of ascension. Right? In Hawaii, that's how it was. In Mexico, that's how it was. Now compare the above with the description of the temples of the highest priest of Quetzalcoatl at Tula, Mexico, by the Spanish historian Sahagan. This temple, like all old Hindu temples, had 4 chambers facing the cardinal points. The east chamber was termed the Golden House and was lined with the plates of gold. The west chamber was termed the House of Emeralds and Turquoises, blue. The south chamber was inlaid with silver and mother of pearl. Mother of pearl was always a big thing, especially in Polynesia. Always mother of pearl, mother of pearl. And the north chamber with red jasper and shells. Sagan describes also a second building of the same kind, in which the decoration of 4 rooms was carried out in the same colors as the feathered in feathered mosaic. God who sent children. Mrs. Nuttall continues. So that's let's get to the next page. Down as they go, though going to sleep, out of reverence, the image was covered with mantles of cloths. They said that when sterile women made offerings or sacrifices to the god Quetzalcoatl, he immediately caused them to become pregnant. See, you gotta understand, like, there's a lot of hijack in the world, so you can't read everything as sent from God. So you have to excuse the hijack, and they're always including things that never happened in your, or they perverted. He was the god of the winds, which he sent to sweep or clear the way for the Taklas, the earth wine gods. In India, also, the custom of sterile women worshipping in particular temples to be blessed with children is very common. So they're saying a common thing, and it's possibly a Hindu custom. I'm here to prove that the Hindus were in America. And that's why when they always go, oh, how come if they're Israelites, the full-bearded Negro Indians in America with springy to woolly soft Afro hair, if they're Israelites, then how come they did this? And how come they did that? They perverted this, perverted that. Well, I'm here to tell you, man, there's different people and groups that came in and perverted us. Today, there's so many different people groups coming in and perverting us today. So don't make like it's impossible. You guys gotta think. North American Indians still perform the ceremony of soma sacrifice and preparation of amrit nectar, and the ceremony has been witnessed by American observers. If space allows, the detailed report of the ceremony excuse me will be included in the appendix. Another point is of similarity between the Hindu and the Mexican religion is that both the Indian and the Mexico, both in India and Mexico, the temples are round. Mountain worship. In ancient Mexico, at the approach of the rainy season, religious ceremonies are performed in honor of the mountains, which were looked upon as active agents in the production of rain, because they attracted the gathered the clouds around their summits. As in India, the tops of mountains were regarded as sacred place where the sky and heaven met and produced the showers which vivified the earth. Pilgrimages and offerings to mountain summits formed as part of the duties of the Mexican priesthood. But in the cities, and what happens in Israel? In Israel, all of our mountain peaks were temples that priests worship and sacrifice to the Creator. And that's what they're telling you right here. Mexicans had all these summits, and their priests would go up there and make offerings and sacrifices. But in the cities, the pyramid temples served as a convenient substitute for the mountain. System of numerals, the Maya system. See, you gotta understand, they know a lot, but they don't know at all, because they keep calling these people Mayans, and they call themselves Quiche. They're the tribes of the Quiche Indians, and they all had particular names that they went by, and